After a very rainy São Paulo Grand Prix with a win from Max Verstappen and an unusual double Alpine podium, welcome to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Christina Rutherford, joined by Sofia Miranda, and tonight we will be discussing the on- and off-track battles in the current F1 season. Let's start with the FIA and the drivers. Sofia, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so let's talk about what the FIA actually is first. So they regulate everything and they kind of manage how the drivers do, how the constructors do. So they have to do their job.
Yes, well, while they make all the decisions, some of the decisions are being argued. Some of the drivers aren't agreeing with how all of the rules and regulations and penalties being given, with recently Max getting a community service for cursing, but Charles only getting a €10,000 fine, which some argue is a little unfair.
Yeah, but I mean, Charles, the policy about the FIA is basically not letting any drivers curse or do anything because they are trying to get an accessible for all public language. But Charles, for example, he was given a misleading question, while Max, he was just describing his car. So there's a bit of change on that.
Yes, some also have seen it as a bias towards Max Verstappen, as he's also been given more penalties than Lando, with him getting two 10-second penalties leading to 20 seconds in the Mexico GP, while Lando only got a 5-second penalty in Austin for competing with the same move on a turn.
In my opinion, all were just regular penalties, and that's what you do when you do something wrong, so that's why.
There's also the issue of some people are arguing that they're not putting red flags as soon as they should. During qualifying, when Lance crashed out, they took over 40 seconds to establish his red flag. And then also drivers complaining during this week's race in Brazil that it's too rainy and they couldn't see and there needed to be a red flag, which came shortly after when Franco crashed.
Definitely. That has been a problem with FIA, and I'll agree with that. Especially last year, too, we had the Suzuka, if I'm not wrong, that was raining a lot, and they also didn't take a lot of time. They did not have any time trying to figure it out. And we also had we had Imola being canceled because of the season that they chose. So there's lots of things wrong, lots of controversies, but let's move on to the most affected to it, the drivers, obviously. So who are your favorite and you're gonna defend the driver right now? Who do you think will win the Drivers' Championship, the Constructors' Championship?
Okay. For the championship, I'm gonna have to take the long shot, and I'm gonna root for Lando. I'm a McLaren girl. Lando is my favorite. He has a good car. McLaren has produced one of the fastest cars of the season. He's got Oscar helping him defend, with Oscar performing as well as him up there, helping him defend off other drivers. While Max, he doesn't have that. Checo is getting taken out in Q1 and Q2. He's getting stopped, and he has to fight up the grid. Max has no one to defend him. He's a lone driver at Red Bull.
I mean, yeah, but for example, McLaren, they are doing exactly they are favoring Lando against Oscar in every single race. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, they've decided that they're not going to do, as they call it, papaya rules and let them race. They're going to favor the one in order for the championship to try and get them the most points and try to get them a championship, which they haven't had in years. And they got to try it, because even though Max is leading by 62 points right now, as long as Lando gets more than 3 points at Las Vegas, he still has a chance. He could still win this.
Oh, definitely. I would defend Max just because he's Max Verstappen. He has been marked in F1 history. There's no one to agree. Every single race, I mean, this year's has been a little bit different. He only won 8 Grand Prix so far. But if you think, last year, he won 19 out of 22 races. He has been marked in history. And I just mean, he's the guy. And we have the argue of driver car, how it is, how it's not, how the effectiveness of the car affects the driver. And I mean, it does affect. I'll not lie about that. We can see the back grid cars. We can see who's up there. But I mean, we can see Checo not performing well as well. So he's a good driver, and he has proven to get the maximum out of his car. And, well, it's just, he's the guy.
Yeah, okay. Now that we've discussed who we think will win the Drivers' Championship, who do you think will be Rookie of the Year?
I would say Liam Lawson. I mean, for me, last year he was probably gonna go into it, but Yuki was the chosen one to go to the racing booths. And I mean, he just played. Now has been in like 4 races, I believe, or something like that. He won 3 races, and he's gonna end the season because of Daniel. So it's just he's still figuring out how to deal with a car, and I mean, it's not a great car. He has dealt with it, but São Paulo, he's just made an amazing quali, and he ended up P5. Also, Yuki having also a great quali. I mean, there's some other stuff that gets into it, but yeah, he has been improving, and even if he only has 4 points, he has been in beef, so he's just like really an F1 driver right now. So
yeah, while you're rooting for Liam, I'm gonna have to root for Ollie Behrman. Technically, he's not driving in this current season. He is a reserve driver, but as he has raced 3 races, he is no longer eligible for rookie testing at the end of the season. I think that means he should be eligible for Rookie of the Year. With his first 2 races, he won. In his first 2 races, he got points, which is very difficult when he did not train at all for the first race. And then the second one was one of the hardest races of the year in Singapore, and he scored points. And this weekend in Brazil, he was able to gain 3 points while still spinning out and having difficulty seeing. I think he's got a chance, and he should still get it, even though he's not technically a driver.
I mean, I would agree. I feel like it'll be a really nice fight, and well, let's see how that goes. But switching a little bit, let's go into the de-constructors. I mean, what is this constructor? Let's just say that. I mean, we have 2 drivers that are doing some damage to their cars and their teams too, because that definitely does affect the constructor championship. But what are your opinions on it?
For me, I think that Checo, Sergio Perez, he's causing the most damage. Right now, he's leading the deconstructors with $3,632,000 worth of damage. That's a lot of damage, and that was just before Brazil. He also had some difficulties in Brazil. I'm sure he's caused more damage that they had to fix. These teams have a cost cap of $135 million. If they're spending all of their money repairing the car, they can't get upgrades. He can't get up there to help defend Max off of Lando. It's going to be difficult. As you can see right there, he had a big crash in Monaco, causing his car to be just the safety, just the chassis. And I don't think anyone is going to cause more damage than that in the next 3 races.
No, definitely. And I definitely do agree. He's not doing a great job trying to get that, like, last year we saw him, like, being near Max, being P2 sometimes. But this year has been a difficult year for Checo. And I don't know what's going to happen on the next seasons, but I do feel like he might lose his seat, like, soon, let's say. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if he loses his seat, all I'm going to say is I will not be surprised.
Yeah.
So if he loses it, you're not going to see a surprise face from me. What are your thoughts on you defending Alex for this?
Okay, so Alex is right in second. He has wasted, I would say, $2,400,000 right now with his car damages. I want to highlight the point in Austin. And let me just say, he has been doing some damage. For Williams, he has, 4 races, like, just DNFing, and, well, it's not good. And I mean, Logan Sargent does not help him too. Like, he gets no points.
Well,
so,
Logan is gone now. And
I mean,
replaced
but
by
like,
Franco Colapinto,
yeah,
who's
exactly,
not helping his case either.
Exactly. No one is helping Williams right now. But, I mean, he's been second. He has used his teammate's car, crashing once and crashing twice in the same Grand Prix. So I feel like the damage is more emotional than even just money. Because if you get your teammate's car because you crashed your car in quali, and then you proceed to crash it on the second time, I mean, it's just emotional damage and obviously cost damage. So yeah, I'll defend Alex.
Well, with only 3 more races left in the season, we will wait to see who will come out on top and who will cause the most trouble. But for now, that's all we have for F1. For Sofia, Miranda, and Christina Rutherford, thank you for watching Penn State Sports Night.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.